Hi, I'm Kerry. I'm the host of Best of Us Investors, and I'm proud to say that my portfolio year to date is up 23% through the end of July, and that's projected that it'll be up 40% by the end of the year. That compares to last year, it was up 64%, and the preceding year it was up 29%. And that's when I really got active in the investment philosophy that I follow now. I think it's one thing to basically get those kind of returns, but I think it's more important to understand why. What did you do to make that happen? And who did you associate with? By that, I mean, what companies did you buy to facilitate that kind of growth in the portfolio? Now, has it been that way all this year? No, I was down. I was down substantially, but I knew why I was invested where I was invested, and I understand why I'm now at a new high, because I recognize that the most important thing that happened in my 76 years of life happened in March of 2020, and it was called the coronavirus, and it's going to change our world. And I made that recognition probably in the fourth quarter of last year, and I started putting my money where I thought the future lied, and that is the revolution of our healthcare system. Hell, it's broken. My car gives me better notification of a breakdown than my body does, but that's about to change. So I want to go over some of the things that have happened, some of the observation that has given me the insight to take my portfolio to all-time highs just this year, and then to give you some guidance where I think it's going from there. All right, stick with me. I got to share with you that I'm not your financial advisor. I'm only here for entertainment and education. But you can do me a favor while we're putting this up. Smash the like button so that it helps my algorithm, and then subscribe. I'm going to tell you a little bit later how you can have some insights that I share with my tribe and how you can become a better investor. Okay, be right back.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
I look at things on a daily basis, and I look at some of my stocks. I have a stock called BioCrisp. BioCrisp is actually a Birmingham company where I live, and they made a drug called Orladeyo. It is a blood disorder disease that hereditary angioedema, that they created a pill form of what people used to have to take a shot for. And I bought that back. I told you first about it on June the 3rd, and I told you it was going to be a 3x in 18 months. And then I came back and told you some more about it on June the 4th in my video. And today, they announced, or yesterday, they announced as a result of this Orladeyo, their revenues were up 1,642%, or they took their revenues from 2.9 million to 50 million quarter to quarter, first quarter to second quarter. And the analyst projected that the price of the stock would go to $28. I bought it, as I said, back in early June for $15 and 67 cents. So that's not my 3x, but it's also not 18 months. So I was in pre-market, it was projected to go up 14%. The market opened and it was down 7. Okay, it's since recovered. It looks like it's up something in the neighborhood of 3%. Why did that happen? But before I answer that question, let me talk about another stock that I own, and that's called Editas. Editas had a terrible quarter. They lost more money than anybody projected, and yet it's up 14% today. Well, it's up 14% today because they also included that they had done some lab work in the past where they cured a Mississippi lady of sickle cell anemia, and that gave them some credibility. But they said they were ready to put a needle in an arm and do their first stage clinical trials this next quarter. That's why Editas is up 14.5% today. I'm still at a loss of 13% on it, but I know what I know is that's going to once they get that sickle cell anemia in the arm, they get through stage 1 and say, hey, it works, that sucker is going to go up 200%. Then when they get into clinical trials 2, where maybe they're working on, rather than 5 people, 50 people, that sucker's going up another 500%. And then when they get through clinical trials 3, where they do it on several thousand people, it's going to the moon. So, but the interesting thing is, most of the world doesn't know about this. Most of the investors don't know about it. Most of the people don't know what Editas does. They don't understand genome sequencing, and they don't understand genome editing. What Editas will do is put a needle in people's arms, and their sickle cell anemia will go away. It's a one-stop cure. Will it be expensive? Yeah. In the laboratory thing that they did on the lady in Mississippi, it cost approximately $500,000 to cure her of sickle cell anemia. Will it be that expensive once they get through stage 3? I don't know. I doubt it. The reality is that genome sequencing used to cost $1 billion. That was in 2000. Today, I can get my genome sequenced by 23andMe for $100. So I suspect that Editas and will bring the cost of that down to where, in fact, the insurance companies will pay for it, because they would rather cure you of sickle cell anemia than have to insure you and endure the lifelong cost of treating you for it over your lifetime. So Editas will explode. And apparently the market is recognizing it. It's up now, as I said, about 14.5%. Now, the other thing that, so I know why my portfolio is at all-time highs, because I have another stock that's up 200 and, excuse me, no, Nutella. It just passed 300%. What is Nutella? Nutella put a needle in an arm to cure a liver disease about a month ago. I bought it in November. I'm now up 300% on it. So I understand why my portfolio is at an all-time high and why it will go even higher, because I understand what BioCrisp is doing. I understand. I did a video yesterday on Schrödinger. I understand that they are using artificial intelligence to create new combinations of molecules to help the pharmacies create new drugs for treatments of whatever you might have. I understand that artificial intelligence can speed up the process of finding drugs, cut the process in half, and cut the cost into a fraction of what it used to be. So I understand that. I bought this company for $68 a share 2 days ago, and I understand it's going to 680, because this is going to change the way drugs are delivered. I also understand that AbCellera, another company that I just told you about earlier this week, is using artificial intelligence to help sort through our immune system, what our body does naturally to cure, much as I fell yesterday while I was running and cut my hand. My hand was bleeding, and what I know is my T cells are going to come to this and naturally cure it. Within 3 days, that scab will form, and my body will have taken care of that cut, as well as the cuts that I have on my knees from when I hit the ground. So I know my body is going to do that. But what Abcelera is doing is using artificial intelligence to go through all the immune system knowledge that we have and find faster cures for the pharmaceutical companies. Now, the interesting thing about what they're doing is they're not charging a lot of upfront cost. Instead, they're taking a percentage interest in the future sales of the drugs. That's genius. Their income stream is going to be phenomenal in the future. And I bought that stock at $15.70, and I think it's down today. But that's okay, because what I know is I'm the only one who knows this. I'm the only one who has done the research. And how did I find about this stock? Drew told me. Drew's a member of my tribe. He did some research. He has a background in the pharmaceutical industry. He explained to me what the nature of this whole thing was. I then did research. I shared that research with my tribe. My tribe is the group of people at my Discord that we share information with before we share it with you. Because we know once we tell you and we get enough of the world knowing what's about to happen, these companies are going to go through the roof. We know that. So we want an advantage. So what is that advantage? We share our knowledge. How did I learn about Schrödinger? Well, actually, I subscribed to Jeff Brown. Jeff Brown told me a little tidbits. I then did some research. I asked my investment team to do some research, and we identified the drug or the company that Jeff Brown was talking about as Schrödinger. We got more information. We shared it with the tribe. We bought, and now we're sharing it with you, or we shared it with you earlier this week. So what we're trying to do is the same thing that Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan does. And that is they get proprietary information and they share it with their big customers before they let their analysts share it with you. That's all we're doing. We're trying to level the playing field so that we don't get taken advantage of by what they call the smart money, because the smart money is moving into our court. Why is that? We have more minds working to find out what are the stocks to buy in the future than they do. Right now, I have about 2,000 people working on this program with me. My goal is to get 1 million. Yeah, my goal is to think about that. If I have 1 million people feeding us information on what's happening in the industry that they are a part of, and that they have insight to, do I have an advantage? Do we, our tribe, have an advantage? I keep pointing to this book. I wrote this book with Colin George, and it explains the whole theory about what Best of Us investors is all about. So that's how I'm at all-time highs in my portfolio today. I'm up $33,629 today. Okay, so that represents 3.3% today, because the world is waking up to the fact that we are in a medical care revolution. I own a BMW. It's a 2016 BMW. The BMW notifies me when I need to take it in to have something fixed on it. I get a recall. I get a, hey, Carrie, come in and get this taken care of. That's what's going to happen to my body. My body is going to notify me via my phone when something's wrong. I know that. I've substantiated. I know how it's going to happen. You don't. I have an advantage. Where do I get that advantage? From my tribe. I've recognized that I have a resource called the internet that I can access the knowledge right now of 2,000 minds. Soon it will be 5,000. Then it will be 10,000. And then it'll be 1,000,000. Folks, I hope you figured this out. Again, my name's Carrie Grinkmeyer. I'm the host of this phenomenal investment channel. If you'd like to be a part of it, just go to the link below. Go to a Best of Us Investors. I'll ask you for your email address and your name, and I'll send you an invitation to join the tribe. All right, I'll talk to you again tomorrow.